So as things, welcome to BFREE Monday, guys. So this week, I'm chiming in from Uluwatu down in Bali, and it's been a really cool week actually. And I was just sharing with the crew that my biggest win this week was being able to actually, be over here and live in Bali. And I'm not saying that from a point of, blowing my own trumpet or anything, but that was a choice that I wanted to make 5 years ago when I actually stepped into network marketing and isogenics. And that was the thing that drove me. I had pictures like this on my vision board, and I was like, how do I live that lifestyle? And sure enough, the vehicle showed up in the way that it did. And 5 years later, it's to be able to turn it into reality is quite cool. So I had this sort of like aha moment the other week, and it really fired me up to make sure that I'm giving value back to you guys, to make sure that you can find that in your own. So the whole point of tonight is over the last 5 years is to really share what like 10 steps or 10 lessons, 10 things that I've learned along the way. I've done all the self-development that you guys have done, or maybe that you're stepping into, the podcasts, and I've been to all the different events. I've gone wide, I've gone deep, and I've got confused, and I've done all that stuff. I've had a lot of aha moments, but these are probably the 10 key ones I think that I really want to share with you. And you don't need to know the depth of these concepts, but if you understand the simplicity of it, it gives you a framework to build on over the next 5 years in your own journey, and you make that commitment to yourself with anything that you do, then you'll be successful in your own way. So my vision is, and the reason why I'm going to keep showing up in this space and like forever, is that I want to see 10 people from this BFREE community on stage as six-figure income earners. So I don't care who it is, but I'm going to keep on keeping on until there's people standing up there with me. And at the moment, it's just me and Sarah and a couple others. So we just want to make sure that we've got a couple more. And then I want to see 100. How cool would that be? So my real story, like my ISO, like my network marketing story, is it probably the key of it would be asking, why did I put aside my master's degree in physiotherapy to partner with this business? And a lot of my friends at the time, when I really stepped into this world and actually saw the opportunity for what it was, I went, shit, I'm actually going to commit to this. A lot of my buddies and family said, you're stupid, and even to this day, they still don't really understand it. But the point is that it's a very new age thing. It's, it's not something that's well understood. It's not a traditional business model. It's not something that everyone's been doing for 100 plus years. So, but the people that wake up and the people that can see the opportunity, they're the ones that can really leverage this. So, the thing that made me put my master's degree aside was actually the question that Peter asked me. Well, first of all, the products. I started, got a really cool health result, digestive issues. I'd spent a year trying to buy my health back, and this sort of seemed to fix 80% of my signals and symptoms in the first sort of 2 to 3 weeks. So I was like, boom. I was like, this is going to be a tool in my belt for life. And then I didn't really understand the business side, but I shared with 3 of my best mates, and they got really cool health results. And 2 of them are still doing the business with me today, Tully and Reese. And that's the thing that keeps me going, is being able to share this have a tool that I can share with friends and family, but also and strangers, but also having a business I can run with them. And I've got Reese and Rachel here in Bali with me at the moment, which is freaking cool. Like to be able to share that experience, because it wouldn't be that fun doing it by yourself. But so the thing that made me put my master's degree aside was Peter asked me a simple question, and really sit back and ask yourself this, like, what would your ideal day actually look like if you got to choose it? The magic wand question, if time and money was an issue, where would you wake up? Where would you be? What would you be doing? And, I really sat with that question. Like, I heard it a lot of times, but when I actually painted it out, and I scripted it and I wrote it and I put it on vision boards, it became real. And I think that's when I really went, shit, I need to find a way that I can free my time and create enough abundance just for me to be able to live that lifestyle. and funny enough, 5 years later, like the vision board that I had 5 years ago, I can pretty much tick 90% of things on that vision board. And it just shows the power of your thoughts and the power of your clarity of vision, and also the power of having the right vehicle, the right community, the right tools to get there. So the thing that really got me as well, she cast the vision for me. So, you'll be sitting there and, you might not have clarity in your own vision, and you might not be attracting people to your business or your opportunity, but she had this vision of being like, hey, I want to create this freedom lifestyle for millennials. Her group at the time, I think, was called, what was it? Live Your Ideal Life or something like that, or like Your Ideal Day or something like that. And you know, she cast that vision for millennials and attracted like 90% of her crew were people like you and me. So, you know, get clarity on your own vision and cast that for yourself and stick with it. But then also get good at casting a vision for other people and really hitting their pain points. Like for me, I wanted time and I wanted abundance. I want to go on more surf trips. That's as simple as it was for me. And I wanted my health back. So that was sort of it. And then I guess, you know, there became a point where I just aligned myself, and I was able to make a committed decision that this is one of the partnerships that I want to have in my life. And the reason why I partnered with Isogenics was the integrity of Jim and Kathy Coover, the way that I actually set up the business, the integrity, like obviously the products and stuff work. But, you know, and also seeing the results of people getting paid, and like, you know, like I'm over in Bali as well. Ben Kelly's here. You know, he's a bricklayer that started with me at the very beginning. So to see him, see all this social proof was the thing that really got me and made this really real for me. So, I guess the end of that story is, you know, when I first started, I probably wasn't making a lot of money, but I got my products paid for and I ate for free. And then 5 years down the track, I've now been able to replace my physio income 3 times over, residually. And, you know, what that means is that I have my time and I have my freedom. And, you know, it's something that I just want everybody to experience in their own way. And you've just got to figure out your own alignment, your own vision, and figure out whether this partnership is actually something that you want to run with and work with. And, you know, if it is, then do it and just commit to it for 5 years. And, you know, in your own way, you'll get there. And all you have to do is find ways of helping people and helping more people. And then that's where I guess the leadership and the self-development comes in. And the more you're committed to growing yourself, the more you're going to grow your business, the more you're just going to have those little aha moments and click points. So that's what I want to share with you now is those click points for me. So out of the 10 steps or the 10 things I want to share is number 1 is you need to be your best customer. So with any business or any enterprise that I've ever partnered with, Entrepreneurs Institute, et cetera, I've gone and been a customer first. And you want to be your best customer because you're going to set the scene for what everyone else does. So even now, 5 years down the track, I just finished a 16-week challenge. So I did it again. And this one for me was about healthy moderation and lifestyle. It wasn't about, you know, getting a six-pack and putting on 5 kilos like the first couple that I did. This one was just about, you know, really integrating this with ease and flow into my lifestyle. So I've traveled through all the islands in Indonesia. I've kept doing fasting days. I've enjoyed a beer on the beach after a surf. You know, I've taken my smoothies with me and made smoothie bowls in the weirdest of places. And I've been able to get up and, you know, surf at 6 a.m. and keep powering on for like 3 or 4 days, whilst everyone else is you know, falling apart and sleeping in and getting sore, and basically their bodies just aren't keeping up with them. So that was really cool for me to integrate this. So that's number 1. So really look back and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, am I my best customer? Because if you're not, that's what you're attracting. You want to attract people that want to half-ass it. You want to attract people that aren't actually in health mode. You know, and they're coming to you for inspiration and guidance and support. So they'll be unconsciously and consciously following what you do. So if you're not in flow with that, then this is your first step. And don't even try to do anything beyond this, because if you're not, then it's just incongruent and you'll be out of alignment and it'll feel shit and you'll attract the wrong people anyway, right? So, and this is simple. All you have to do is commit to the process, commit to yourself. That's it. And the process is simple, you know, 30-day reset and then 90 days of maintenance. Integrate the Healthy Mind and Body program, plug in the 16-week challenge. Those 4 processes are there. So it doesn't get any simpler than this. So if you get stuck and like, you're like, well, I'm not being my best customer, just go back and do a 9-day reset. You know, mentally, physically, emotionally, and just get yourself, like, shock yourself back into it. And then follow the process. Do a 30-day reset, 9 days of maintenance. And then you might do what I do, just do one just for lifestyle integration. Do you know what I mean? And then people can then model that as well, not feeling like it always has to be this like health kick. You know what I mean? It can actually be about maintaining and asking how good can it get, or just finding the ease and flow. Second, sharing authentic. So here, I've been that I started with 3 of my best mates: Tully, Reese, Glenn. Glenn, you know, I'd still be here in this business if it was just for him. Just seeing the way that this nutritional detox reset his whole perspective on health and his life really was probably the most empowering thing ever. And that if I was grateful to Isogenics for just one thing, it would be just that I've been able to impact my friend in such a positive way. And that would be it, even without money, even without, you know, the 35,000 other people that have gone and been impacted through that ripple effect. But it's that would be the one thing. And then also being able to run a business with, you know, Tully and Reese, both healthy dudes. You know, Tully's a physio. He's gone on to do his Living Love retreat, still does his part-time on the side. You know, he was started in sort of construction, went into health and safety, wanted to find a way to get off the mine. So now, you know, he's literally upstairs or out surfing at Uluwatu right now, whilst I'm running this webinar. You know, so to be able to like share this with friends and to be able to do this with friends and people we care about, and impact people we care about, is the reason why I'm still here. The photo down below to the left was our first retreat we had over in Bali, which was about 2 to 3 years into it. And that was just fun, you know, and this is the thing, like share authentically and then just grow your tribe. And you'll become a leader, whether you like it or not. And if you don't want to be, then maybe this isn't the business for you, because you need to be able to lead a tribe. You need to be able to lead people. And that requires you to basically upgrade your own personal worth and your own personal value to realize that people are actually following you. So, and if you share from an authentic space and keep helping people get those outcomes, that will force you into a leadership position because you're getting those results. And then the third thing, I guess, is helping people get paid by doing the same. So, you know, I shared, Peter just said to me, who do you want to do this? Who do you want to do a detox with? And I just went and asked my friends, who wants to do a detox with me? 3 people said yes. First thing I did, I got my products paid for in the first week. What do you think that did with my money mindset? I was like, holy shit, this is real. I thought it was monopoly money. So if people haven't felt that, even though they tangibly know it, if you haven't actually helped them do it, then, you know, they'll find it very hard to understand the concept of network marketing in business. Like you can consciously get it, but unless that money, like that email comes into your bank account, it's not yet real. It's real for everyone else, but it's not yet real for them. So, and a reminder is the simplicity of what Peter asked was, who do you want to do this with? Or who do you know that wants to do a detox? Or, you know, who do you really want to help? And me being a health professional, I was like, shit, I really want to help Glenn. And then I spoke to Tally, I was like, man, you should check this thing out. So the conversation was different, but the intention was that, you know, I had something really cool to share with them. And only 3 out of maybe 20 people said yes. And that's as simple as it was. Now, once you get beyond that, you know, people start going, well, I want to be a product user, product sharer. Now I want to be a business builder. Make the goals really simple and really tangible. So like for Reese, you know, I talk about credit cards and things like that. Not interested. I talk about helping him pay for his new board. He'll go out and help 5 people in a week, because he'll be like, okay, if I help 3 people, then that's, you know, like $400, $500 or whatever it is with double PRBs. He's like, that's a new board. So he's like, if I help 2 people, 3 people a week, I get to buy myself a new board every week. And in his mind, that was the tangibility of it, right? Now for you, that might not fly, but the thing is make the goals simple and meaningful for people. And then once they get the board, it becomes tangible, it becomes real again, right? The other one is credit cards. So a big one for me was I wanted to pay off my credit card and actually cut it up. And I remember the day that I did cut it up. And that was such an amazing flip in my mindset, because I went from a debt and scarcity-based mindset, I need to borrow money to make money, to I'm going to work to create abundance and then be in positive cash flow. And the day I cut up my credit card is when I went from red to green thinking. So really think about that as well. If you've got credit cards, you've got all these things, you're still in a scarcity and a debt-based mindset. So find a way to flip that really quick. And it might be something as tangible as, you know, making that your first goal. I'm going to help 10 people so I can pay off my credit card debt. You know what I mean? And the day you cut it up, and also then you see you make health results, and, you know, maybe you've helped them make some money as well, it becomes really meaningful to you in your life. The big one as well is, like, I'm living in Bali. So my cost of living over here is like $500, $600 a week, right? And I'm like, well, I want to make just enough money so that I can at least live for free. Like, that's it. Live for free. You know, like, I'm level pegging. I'm on par. And how many people do you think would be stoked to just get their rent paid for by something they do on the side, and help people get health results, and something that they're completely aligned with? Imagine if you help them get $250 a week. Say like Reese and Rach, like their big thing was like they got two days of work back. So they only need to work 3 or 4 days to live their lifestyle, whereas before they were working 6 to 7. So to be actually able to have the choice to have 2 days back means they get a 4-day weekend every weekend, and they work to live. Do you know what I mean? And rather than living to work. So that was very meaningful for them. Other people, you know, might be saving for a house, you know, so maybe you're helping, you know, helping this little side hustle is a thing that, you know, creates this little piggy bank. Every person they help is another $100, another, you know, $200, $300 towards their house deposit. And, you know, you can just let that build up an ISA wallet whilst they keep on doing all their other stuff. So again, finding what makes it tangible to them, meaningful goals to them, will make this more real in their life. And you know, it doesn't have to be like 6-star on stage, blah, blah, blah. That for me has never excited me. Me helping 30,000 people, I'm like, okay, that's awesome. So the language might be different for different people as well. The fourth thing is upgrading your value and money mindset. So this is something really cool from the Entrepreneur Institute, and something that I really, really, really want to pass on to this whole community is that this foundation mindset. So down here, like, you know, imagine this is your lighthouse. You're illuminating your vision. This lighthouse is you, right? The plumbing is your health and your finances. So most people are in this sort of victim mindset, blaming everyone else, right? They've got you know, lack of positive cash flow. They're just in lack in every aspect. And it's also, this is where people are really mastering their personal value and their personal leverage. So, you know, a worker is someone who's got a job. A player is someone who, you know, imagine using a soccer analogy, someone who's been training for, you know, 3 to 4 years to be able to get on the pitch, and then all of a sudden they're good enough to actually get on the pitch and actually show up as themselves and have their own brand and start attracting people to them, start actually attracting the ball. There's a lot of players that also get on the pitch and still don't get the ball because they don't know how to play the game well enough, which is like the skills of network marketing, right? So most people are in this, and the thing is, if you're in survivor and victim mode, you're going to attract survivor and victim-based people because you'll have the same consciousness, you'll show up in the same spaces. So you need to really elevate yourself as quick as you can to worker. So, you know, even I see a lot of people quit their day job and try to do this full time. It's like, don't do that, man. It's like, to keep this as a side hustle. Don't quit your day job until this is earning 1.5 times, you know, your income with consistency. So you're still going to work on something that you're passionate about. That's probably the only shift, but you need to have cash flow coming in, because if you don't, you fall back into this debt-based mindset purely because you can't cover your, you know, food, water, and shelter, right? So make sure that you're at least sitting here, and then your side hustle where you're starting to step on the pitch and build a brand by partnering and leveraging a company is where you start to really work with Isagenix. This is your first business. It costs you $3,000 a year. You eat your overheads. And then at the same time, you're getting all this self-development to keep you out of this red and infrared zone. And this is the thing. Most people come to this business and they're bouncing around in this sort of victim survival worker mode for like the first 2 to 3 years, because realistically, this is a self-development program for them with a healthy thing on the side, right? So, you know, understand that and really meet people where they're at, because they'll just be good product users and good product sharers, but they'll get to a point where you've heard the same message 1,000 times, you've got an abundance-based mindset, you start to think differently, you start to cut up your credit cards, and then all of a sudden you flip into this green-based mindset. So this is where you actually start your first enterprise. So the foundation prism, which is down here, is a mastery of wealth flowing through our life and our ability to create abundant flow and value and money through our life, regardless of market conditions. So most people in this sense, they won't know how much money is coming in or going out. They probably don't have any to measure their money, or they haven't really committed to conduct. They're not really doing their duty. They're sort of just, they're floating around a little bit out of alignment, a little bit lost, right? So, you know, get that stuff sorted and you'll quickly step up into this space, which is you start to actually attract flow into your life rather than just managing what you can get your hands on. The fifth thing is leverage. So we talked about personal value, that self-development is a thing that will get you out of that foundation prism, and knowing your worth. So as an example, I'm just going to flip it over to you guys. This isn't one way for too much longer, but if you could, in the chat box, just write down, if I was to buy an hour of your time, what is an hour of your time worth right now? So for me, I'd say $500 to $1,000 an hour. That's where my worth is at the moment. That's what I see my personal value as. So what would you see yours as? So Lockie, Fib, Mon, what do you see? Just in the chat box, just put what you see your value. Like what, an hour of your time, what's it worth? If I was to buy it right now, how much would you charge me? Don't think too long. Just chuck in $80, Lockie. Yep. 60, Fib and Laura. Yep. Mon, what are you thinking? An hour of your time, what's it worth? $75. Cool. So the thing is, if you said anything less than like $250 an hour, then you haven't yet mastered your personal value. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be attracting that into your life. Like consider the question, right? You've got 600, average lifespan 71.2 years, right? You've got roughly 600,000 hours in this life, in this, you know, as we go to use. They're your tokens, right? And you're telling me that you'll sell me one of those precious hours of your time for $60 to build my vision or my dream, right? Which is like what we do when we work. So, like, ask yourself the question, why did you set that as your value, and why not set your value higher and literally just, you can come down. Like if you get to the point where you actually believe an hour of your time is worth $1,000, you'll start attracting that. You'll start thinking in a different game. You'll start surrounding yourself with different people, right? And then, because they're thinking abundantly. So, really think about that, right? Because I gave you choice. I didn't tell you what it was, but something subconscious, something in society, something in, what you've been paid for, what someone's been willing to pay for your value in the past is what you essentially said, right? So just really think about that. And I want you to 10x that. Whatever that number is, 10x it. I want you to put it on your vision board. Is that cool? Yeah, I know, it's scary, right? And then I want you to self-develop and really get your personal value to a point where you actually believe it. Because you do only have 600,000 hours and you're going to sell it to someone for like $60. It's like, man, why would you do that, right? At least say it's $1,000, and if you choose to do something nice for them, because your value is so high, then they'll perceive you as giving them an amazing deal, rather than them sort of being like, oh, I see your value at this amount. Because you don't want to attract people that don't see your value either. Because again, you're going to attract those victim-based people, right? Because they don't know their own value, they're not going to see your value. They want everything for free, yeah? And if you give everything for free, that's another sign that you don't value yourself. So be careful about that, right? And that's something that I fell under the trap of as well. Give from a place of overflow. But you need to get overflow and abundant first. So the next one is leverage the team. So everyone tries to do this by themselves, and it pisses me off because you don't need to do this by yourself. Here's an example of a profile of someone that I profiled the other day. So he's very creative. He's like Richard Branson. Richard Branson's got like 60 products. He now has got to a point where he doesn't start a new business unless it's $1 billion business. That's his level of value, right? So, but he's earned the right to upgrade it to that level. Mark Zuckerberg's a mechanic. You don't see him posting on Facebook every day, but he's built the systems behind it. Oprah Winfrey, she loves shining the light on other people. She's a star. She loves to be on stage. People who get up on stage like Bob Proctor, they love to be out there and magnify other people's stuff. The best network marketers are magnifiers. They're social influencers, yeah? You might be, like someone like Lynn Hagedorn. She's very, very details-based, steel-based, introverted. She hates getting on stage. You even see when she did that compensation plan, she did it on one of those, like an old school projector. But she just loves to do things her way, right? And she just keeps it really simple. She'll get on stage, she'll get burnt out, and then she'll go back and be behind the scenes, keeping all the Facebook groups and stuff working. But she's a multi-million-dollar person in this business. Peter Kelly's probably more of a star, right? She's out there leading from the front. So the thing is, you can succeed from anywhere. You just need to add your value to the team and find team members that complement what you do. If you're not good at magnifying and talking to shitloads of people, find people that are good at talking to shitloads of people. And then you work on the systems and stuff in the background so that they can succeed, right? So if you've got real creative people like me, I need someone like Tully to really simplify the message and share that with you guys. I also need people, people like Rhea and stuff who are very timing based and don't post too much. Make sure you get things in at the right time. Keep the structures and systems in place. BFREE Monday, these things, these are systems. These are like Zoom things, this is the stuff that I love doing. So I bring that value to the team. So figure out what you just start giving that to the space. Don't wait for permission, just start giving it. And then you'll start to attract, you'll step in your own confidence and you'll start to feel also what you need as well. And if anyone wants to do this Wealth Dynamics profiling test, I've got free tokens and you can give it a crack and you can figure out who you need as well. But realistically, just step into your genius. Surround yourself with people who complement what you do, and that they're complementing what you're doing because you're out there impacting more people. If you're not getting that result, then it means you're doing it all by yourself, and it means that you're making this much harder for yourself. It's so much easier together. The next thing, when I talked about getting to that player, is when you finally step on the pitch, and this is where you master your personal brand. Now, if I went to all your personal pages, your Instagram, your Facebook, that is going to be the reflection of your personal brand. The way you show up in any space is going to be a personal brand. So you need to make sure that, if you're aligned with health and wellness, you're aligned with a network marketing company, show up as that. You don't have to plug Isogenics everywhere. I've never do that. Neither does pretty much any of the top income earners. But the thing is, you're sharing the healthy lifestyle, you're sharing the active lifestyle, you're sharing the freedom income, you're celebrating people. And then what people start to do is they start to attribute those outcomes and results to you, not to Isogenics, not to the brand, because you need to attract people to you within a community, right? So we've got the BFREE community, which is all about freedom lifestyle. We've got some really cool content curation and stuff that's coming up with that. And we've got the Be Well community, which is, you know, where we can really leverage the results from the community, start posting that up and start sharing that as well, right? But then also you want to have your own page, which is linking back to you, and you just happen to be aligned with these conscious communities, these freedom-based communities, these companies, these products, these services. And again, if you haven't yet got enough confidence to put your name next to partner with Iceland, to partner with, you know, any other company, then you've really got to look at that, because it means you just don't believe in yourself, you don't believe, or you just don't have that, you know, unwavering belief yet, which you need. The seventh step is your business does not start until you've helped 100 people personally. So yeah, run the crystal executive map, you know, help your first 2 people, all those, you know, manager, director, executive things are there just as stepping stones. So they're tangible things that you can measure. So follow that number 1, but your business does not actually start until you've helped 100 people. And then the cool thing is once you personally helped 100 people, it's likely you're going to find 20 people that actually want to share it, or, you know, 10 that might want to run a business with you as well. So that's, you know, maybe if you're out of sync, maybe run your first promotion as a Be Well 10 promotion. Help 10 people or help 2 people, you know, just get back in action with that. To help 2 people, you need to talk to 10. Do you know what I mean? And just multiply, multiply, multiply. So depending on where you're at, if you're back in motion, do a Be Well 2 promotion. If you're, you know, Be Well 10, if that's your, you know, your monthly thing, aim for that. If it's Be Well 100, you know, aim to get to that point and really kick off your business. And number 8 as well is then go, well, shit, how do I get beyond 100 people? Level business, and we'll talk about this as a conscious or networked enterprise, right? Because this is a business. And if you're not thinking that way, or you're afraid of that term or whatever, then again, check yourself, because if you don't treat this like a business, it's not going to pay you like a business. If you don't treat your customers like 5-star service, then they're not going to get the results, and you're not going to get the word of mouth attraction. So level 1 business is you. So you are solving the problem for yourself. That's number 1. And then you solve for one other person. And then I guess you want to get to the point where you help 10 people. So this is where you get a level 2 business. So, you know, have a look at your back office, and your downline will be a reflection of where your business is actually at. Now, level 1, level 2 is, you know, you basically, it's 1-to-1. It's helping people yourself. Level 3 is probably the same. You're still helping people 1-to-1, but you might have had a couple of product sharers and a couple of business builders that might help 5 or 10 people, and you've got to 100 customers together or by yourself. But level 4, once you get to 1,000 customers, you have to start thinking a bit differently. It'd be very, like, you'd be the best enroller in the world if you went and helped 1,000 people. But what you want to figure out is, well, how do I help 1,000 people? And you're like, well, I can help 1,000 people by myself, or I can help 10 people, help 10 people, help 10 people, right? And the thing is not everyone's going to want to share it. But the thing is, if you create amazing results, you're going to create attraction to your personal brand, to your personal business within a business. And their friend's going to ask, right? And then all they have to do is you just have to have the conversation, make sure that they know to handball to you personally, directly, and then your business will build. And then you might even find that when they get paid, in the same way when I got paid, I go, shit, this is actually a tangible business. I put my master's degree aside, and I choose to run with this rather than run with my physio career. So if you find people then do that by casting the vision, once you've got the outcomes for them, you'll start to see that, you know, for me, I'm up to 35,000 people. So I'm like a level 5, level 6 business, right? So, but to get to there, you know, it hasn't been just me. I had to learn to duplicate, I had to learn to get people to events. So this is very much 1-to-1. This is your energy. Level 4, level 5, which is where all the big money is about duplication and events and helping other people get paid and helping them train the trainers, right? Which is UAA events, which is self-development. It's actually building leaders. Number 9, and we're nearly done, guys. Number 9, the ninth biggest thing is you then go, well, shit, like I've helped people with their health, and that's cool. And so many of us get stuck in this mode for so long because we're so health orientated. But then you go, holy shit, who else do I know that wants to live this type of lifestyle? Like if I was to ask you, who would like to be in Bali with me right now, watching the surf roll off, you know, eating some nasi goreng with your best friends, and then having money still ticking in as you sleep? You know, you start asking people those questions, and I'm pretty sure you'll find 10 business partners. The only thing is if you haven't yet done it yourself, in the same way that I hadn't yet done it myself, then you need to borrow someone else's story. You need to run with someone who has that social proof and do it with them. Do you know what I mean? So make sure that, you know, they're part of your team, they're part of your mentorship team, which is why we've got these BFREE Mondays. You should be inviting your guys onto these calls to hear these stories, right? but most of you are still in your own head and in your own personal value mode that you haven't yet got the confidence to ask other people to jump onto these, right? Or maybe there hasn't been consistency or vice versa, yeah? But the thing is like once you start showing up and once you start inviting other people to show up and you grow together, that's where the cool shit happens. Now, every business builder in ISA has said the best thing to do here is to obviously help your first 100 people, and you'll find five business builders. When you find those first 5 business builders, run an ISA derby with them, run something with them, and do it together. And then once you've helped those 5, just run the executive map, then you do it again with another 5. And you know what, that might take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. But if you commit to this for 5 years and you're committed to just doing that thing really simply, finding 10 business partners, and like, look at me, my business partners are Reese and Rach and Tully, like the first people I enrolled, right? But they've attracted their own business partners. And the thing is, like, they're not actively building the business at the moment because they've been building for 4 years, so they're taking a step back. Tully's focusing on his retreat, but then, next month, Tully's stepping back into it again. So this is a really cool business that, like any business, that you can step in and step out of. There needs to be a bit of, build and then rest, and build and then rest, and build and then rest. So give yourself permission to do that, and also give your team permission to do that. Because if you're not, then you're basically creating an incongruent business because you want to give people time freedom and also that lifestyle. So you're like, work hard, now duplicate. Work hard, now duplicate. Work hard, now duplicate. And it needs to be that to and fro. And probably the 10th biggest thing is don't reinvent the wheel, man. Just trust the process. Like, the products work. Trust the process. Don't change it. And if you come from that point with everything, every product user ticks these boxes. Every business builder ticks these boxes. Then it becomes really, really simple, guys. And then you get your freedom, you get your time back. And then all you have to do is, get people started, plug them into the group, attract them, go do what you do naturally. Tick these boxes, do it again. And it might be like a 10 or 20 hour business a week, right? Which eventually starts to create, a 6 and 7 figure income for you. So that is pretty much from me, guys. But they're probably the 10 biggest things that I've learned. And the last one would be just a reminder to go, well, what promotion are you running at the moment for yourself? What are you trying to attract into your life? Do you want to help 2 people? Do you want to help 10 people? Do you want to help 100? Do you want to help 1,000, right? So for the rest of the year, just choose what it is for you. And then, you create a funnel around that, really master your personal brand. Start showing up as that. Keep self-developing, keep learning, keep growing. Like, your process might be a 2 or 3 year process, everyone says, like, Anna Richards did so well so quickly, but she had 4 years of self-development. Tony Robbins-ing the shit out of herself before she kicked into this, right? So you might have just fallen into a community where this is the first year of your first 4 years of self-development, and you're building a bit of confidence as you go. Or you might get to a point where you just go, enough's enough, and you're like, I know enough, I am enough, and I can now help others and transcend myself, right? But that's going to be up to you. And if you're finding you're still going in your head and you're overthinking things, then it means you're still very much in that foundation mindset. If you've still got those credit cards and things like that, you're still in scarcity mindset. So keep working on that stuff, guys. And when you show up as a player, you'll just be on the pitch. You'll be playing the game. People will be watching you. And eventually you then get to step off the side of the pitch and be the coach and then train the trainers, right? And then that's when you get to really conduct your team. But you need to earn that right by being on the pitch and obviously doing that for a long enough period of time. And, it took Peter Kelly 2 years, I think, before I actually noticed her and stepped into it. So you might have to hold that space for 2 years before people are going to notice you. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of context, and hopefully there's some messages hidden in plain sight for you all. And what I'll do now is open up the chat box on the lines, any questions, and then we'll shoot off. The rest, sheepy, yes, blah, blah, blah. Lockie, yep, you're a trader. Yeah, you went to that event. That's cool, man. Glad you liked it. But are there any questions from you, Fib, Laura, Lockie, Mon? Is there any little aha moments you got from this? I'll just unmute you all.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. Yeah, really loving the theme that you're going with at the moment about leverage and everything too. So I think that's a really powerful thing with that and this business and everything. So just makes everything so much easier. I've been guilty, I suppose, over my 2.5 years of trying to do it by myself. And yeah, I found that when I've leveraged a team or my team or the Be Free, Be Well community that it does get a lot easier. So and a lot more duplicatable. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Awesome, man.
Mm.
Yeah, it's so true, Lockie. And it is, man. It's like, I've been in spaces where I tried to do it by myself and it just doesn't work. Like even now, like I'm in Bali, right? I've got to build community and team over here. But the Zoom things and these regular systems just keep me checking in, keep me ticking along. So I keep showing up into those spaces. And it's like, it'd be really cool to get to a space where, you know, there's 4 of us on this week and there's 10 next week and there's 15 next week. And that's my commitment, is to keep the consistency of these systems for you guys and for you to simply ask what you need. And like next week, we've got a really cool BFREE Zoom. So I'm actually leveraging the wider team to find speakers that, you know, from what you guys are saying that you need, right? So this guy's a 25-year-old dude who's, you know, got a 6-figure business in this already. So we've got him coming on next week to share how he did it and how we got to Maui and all that type of stuff. So we'll just keep doing that each week as well. So then you guys don't feel like you have to go set up the Zooms. You don't have to like attract the speakers, blah, blah, blah. All you have to do is show up in the community, the pages, leverage it, leverage the Zooms, and then, you know, everyone can get on with their life and really create a freedom business. So it's awesome. Awesome, Lockie.
Yeah.
What about you, Fib?
Yeah, it was actually, really good information as well. Sorry, I've just got a bit of a cold, so my voice is a bit rusty, but yeah, it's just more like what you're saying, how sometimes you might step away in terms of like when you're building and then sometimes you then come back. It's actually been kind of learning, working on our processes, trying to refine it, and just trying to show up on the calls as well.
Yeah.
Just staying plugged in and taking bits from everywhere, especially after Gabby's call last week. We got so much out of that as well. And yeah, I feel like we're just about to come into that new momentum, and yeah, so definitely feeling that energy at the moment and inspired to actually keep pushing. So definitely, just staying plugged in. That's the key, and going first. So just about to start a proper 16-week challenge. Just with different, like you said, it's not just about losing weight, building muscle. It's just more a long routine, trying to create better routines, and just showing up a lot better in social as well, social media.
Yeah, 100%. And like you said, one thing I'll pick you up on is when you said pushing, just keep showing up and start attracting, because you know you have such a social influence, man. And I think you're such a humble soul, and you're probably a little bit in your head at the moment. But you know, like when you put up that song and the rapping and the stuff you did, like you attracted so many people to your space. And it's like maybe your brand is to show up as that like healthy rapper, or that, you know, like whatever that true identity is, man. And you know, because the thing is, we get attracted to these spaces for a reason. We obviously care about health. We obviously care about other people. So once you figure out what that is and you start attracting people to you as that and keep showing up as that, then nothing feels like a push. You know, it's just, you just do what you do naturally. You just handball to Laura, she signs them up. You know, you go out there and do cool stuff, you know, and then vice versa. You know, you get this really cool flow going on. And like, maybe that's your thing. It's health flow. Like that's what you do with your music. You get the flow of rapping, you know, like, so I don't know what that is for you, but yeah, I feel like you're getting there, dude, which is epic to see.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. Because even in the last couple of weeks, I haven't really been posting much. It was almost like working out what I want to be doing. And instead I was working more on a lot of music as well. I think it was just, I think they were saying like doing more of what you love. And then that way you attract, like you said, like-minded people. So I want to share that side as well, where it's not just always just being in the gym, because I'm not a personal trainer, but that was always my comfort or easy. And the social media posting, so just expanding more on what I love, and that we can attract like-minded people. Yeah.
And also make it about them. You know what I mean? Make your posts about them. Ask questions. Create a dialogue. In the same way, like right now, we're creating a dialogue on here, right? It's not just me just giving content. And the interesting thing, like even you probably see my posts, a lot of it's like surfing and travel and things like that, right? So just by doing what I do and what I love, people have messaged me going, how the hell do you do what you do? Do you know what I mean? And the people that are messaging me are people that want to surf, are people that want to travel, are people that want to live in Bali. So by actually stepping into that thing that I've always, like, that's been in my vision, and like I stopped sort of, I stopped like talking about it and actually started doing it. And just started showing up in that space. And then obviously your photos show up in that space, and everything you do shows up in that space. People get attracted to the authentic and the real you. And I think that's where like everyone's power is as well. And yours is really unique, and you're going to attract some niche people, man. Like, how many rappers have way too much healthy moderation and need to do a detox, right? Seriously.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and like no one else is probably targeting them.
Well, that's actually funny you said it, because we've been talking a lot about this and about that being Vivian's thing and needing to speak up more. And then there's just been a doco come out of a few of the kind of old school top hip hop artists are now talking about how health is important and, you know, trying to shake up the industry and shake up the perception of things. So yeah, it's really
jump on that bandwagon, man. You drive that movement. Do you know what I mean? Like if that's your thing,
you can
drive
rap
it.
about your drugs.
Yeah. And it's real, man. You know how many that lifestyle, man, isn't healthy. Like when I live next door to a DJ, and I've become the yin to his yang. Do you know what I mean? He takes me out for healthy moderation, and I make him do fasting and stuff during the week. And he loves, and he like it's one of those things where they won't ask for it, but you know what they need. Do you know what I mean? In the same way, like say my buddy's like partied too hard, he'll be like, I'll be like, let's get some smoothies. Let's make a smoothie bowl. Do you want one? He's like, yeah, fuck yeah. Or like, let's fast. And it's like, yeah, let's do it. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like people's conscious, like their genius isn't in this. So you add your genius to theirs. Do you know what I mean? And this is where we all collaborate and we all work together. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you become that friend.
One of the things I really like about this whole time is all the money mindset stuff.
Yeah.
I know, I feel like that's a big, I've done a bit of work on it, but I feel like I've definitely got a bit more work to do with just, trying to, shift that money mindset so that it is more abundant and more not so limited.
Well, it's not even the money mindset. It's shift your value, like know your value. Do you know what I mean? Like, because once you know your value, you won't accept less. As soon as you accept, if someone pays $20 for your time, you've accepted that as being your worth. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Consciously, unconsciously. And what you've done is, in their mind, they've then set your worth at that. So if you then try to say, well, now I'm worth $100 now, they're like, no, because I paid $20 for you. You know, it's like buying a shirt for $20 and the next week it's $100. It's the same shirt, but it's like now perceivably more valuable. Do you know what I mean? And this is the one thing I think that the most abundant people know is, like, you see the Gucci brands, the shirts are probably the same, made out of the same crap, but one shirt's $6,000, the other one's $50, because they've created a brand and a value around something, and they said, hey, this is what we set it at. And then you simply let people decide what they pay for. And the thing is, the Gucci brand's going to attract what? 6- and 7-figure income earners, right? Because they're the only people that can afford those shirts. So you start attracting 6- and 7-figure income earners as soon as you start to increase your value. But if you're not, then you start attracting all the victim, the survivor-based mindsets, and then, you know, that's your product, your environment, your product, the five you spend most time with, and then they're the conversations you're having every day. So you can read every book under the sun, but until you get your personal value and you actually believe and set it at a different level, then you're just going to keep coming back to the same old stuff. So Laura, what's an hour of your time worth now?
$600.
600. Okay. All right. We're getting there. $1 million income earner earns $500 an hour. So you're good. You're at least going to the 7-figure realm, which is good.
Love it.
And what about you? What about you, Mon?
I'm just listening to you. This is so good. I never actually thought about value your own thing for an hour, and that's so good. And that's what I wanted to say to Laura too. In Kita's book, she's talking about your money story. That actually opened up my mind. That is so good. And then you need to write your money story and the way you were thinking about money, and see money as a relationship instead of just money and just blaming the money. And that is just really good to do. So yeah, that's a tip to do if you haven't read the book, or the money story is probably on our website somewhere too. But yeah, I love the giving a value of your own personality on
Yep.
yeah, that question. So yeah, that's just really good, Rory. Yeah, just
Good.
impressed. I'm impressed.
Well, this is the thing. There's a lot of value in this group, right? We've just got to keep giving it in the same way that you just gave value to Laura by listening to her and then saying, hey, here's a cool book that might actually help you change your money story, something that helped me. That's what we do naturally, right? So that's my one hope with this BFREE community is we start just doing that more and we just start giving the value. Like this is the stuff I run with the Entrepreneurs Institute for 2-week iLabs, you know what I mean? For 2-week retreats. And I forget to give this content to you guys. And I'm like, I know it so well, but I'm like, shit, these guys don't know it. And the thing is, these go into so much more depth. Like, you know, going from level 1, level 2, level 3 business. It's so simple with ISO because it's just like you are your first customer. Help 10 people, help 100, help 1,000 people, right? You've already got the vehicle. All these guys are trying to create products and services and systems and all that type of shit. And it's like, whoa, it's like super hard, man. Whereas like this, I was able to go from level 1 to level 5 in like 5 years, right? Whilst I self-developed and whilst I learned and whilst I made income. So, you know, really, I think that's such a cool thing. If we really step back and find ways that we can, you know, give our genius to the group, then that's where this will really start to take off. And also leverage each other's genius, leverage my story, leverage your story. You know, I think that's where this really takes off. Cool. Is anything else, guys? Or are we going to do you want to wrap it up?
Speaking of leverage,
Yeah.
Rory, are you able to send us that slideshow that you used for the online info sessions?
Yeah, it's on Ice Business. So
Perfect.
here we go. So go to Google. Go to Google now. We'll do this together, right? Go to Google and just go Isogenics ANZ presentation. Google's so good. Presentation. There's also a Start Your Life one.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's awesome.
Easy. And then everything's on Isogenics Business, guys. Everything you need.
Done.
Cool.
Done. Thanks.
All right, guys. Next week we've got a really cool guy on, so let's see if we can get these numbers up to at least 10 for him. So go out and invite crew, inspire your community to get on, and let's build this.
Thank you so much for doing this.
Yay.
It's all good.
Thanks, Rory. Awesome.
Yeah, thanks.
All right, guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Rory.
Yay.
See you guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Catch up.
Hey, I know, great picture, great painting. Who painted that?
Some talented chick from the Netherlands. You wouldn't know.
How are you
Must
guys?
be worth a fortune.
I know, right? It's worth
The
like
value on that painter. Jeez.
Yeah, I hope you're good, Matt. Hopefully we'll catch up
Oh my
soon
God,
again.
I just realized they're still
Yeah.
recording.
So.
Let's jump off.
What's the planet on your head? What's that?
Hey, they're still recording. Let's jump off.
Hi guys.